Okay, let's unpack this.
Okay.
Because I think for anyone who has ever wrestled with the promise of YouTube,
Hmm.
the idea that you could build an audience or share your passion or just tell your story, only to watch your uploads just kind of stall out at a handful of views.
Yeah, the classic 37 views.
Exactly. This deep dive is absolutely for you. We are trying to move past that really frustrating narrative of just go viral.
Which is not a strategy.
It's not a strategy at all, and we're stepping firmly into the realm of, well, strategy, system, and science.
It's such a necessary shift. I mean,
Yeah.
the myth of the overnight success story, it's powerful, but it's also blinding. It blinds creators to the systematic nature of how this platform actually works.
Right.
We're looking at a stack of sources here, and they're all pretty much focused on digital strategy.
Yeah.
They treat YouTube not as like a lottery ticket,
Mm-hmm.
but as a business system, a predictable machine, really, where if you put in deliberate inputs, you get predictable outputs.
If you understand the mechanics.
Right, provided you truly understand the mechanics and, just as importantly, the audience psychology that's driving everything.
Exactly. So for this session, we've pulled the core ideas from this really high-level strategic guide. It's called The Strategy for Growing a YouTube Channel.
And it's very focused.
It's fiercely focused on execution. It covers digital marketing, content creation, personal branding, and it just strips away all those, romantic notions about pure creativity being enough.
Yeah, and the central thesis for you, the listener, is immediate. And it's really clear. Success on this platform is not about happenstance. It's not luck. It's achieved through a deep, almost analytical understanding of the algorithm's incentives.
Okay.
Precise audience targeting, and this is the crucial part, long-term strategic implementation.
So we're here to provide a shortcut, basically.
A shortcut to that knowledge base, yeah. We're distilling the actionable truth from all the theory.
So if we had to boil down this entire blueprint, this whole strategy, into, say, 3 core concepts, what would they be? The sources really hammer these home as the non-negotiables.
Okay, yeah. 3 things. Success rewards. Value, consistency, and viewer satisfaction.
Value, consistency, and viewer satisfaction.
That's the foundation of the whole approach.
Yeah.
And our mission today is to give you a clear strategic roadmap, how to turn that small channel into a consistent, growing platform.
Right.
We're going to focus on what's most important.
Right.
The things that give you those quick aha moments and, immediate data-driven improvements you can make.
All right, let's do it. Let's jump right into the machine itself. We're starting with part 1, cracking the code of the YouTube algorithm. Because everything else, your content decisions, your editing, your titles, it all flows from understanding this one core thing. The guide kicks off by confronting what it calls the myth versus the system.
And this is, it's the critical mindset shift.
Yeah.
If a creator believes that success is random,
Which most do.
most do, they default to guessing. They'll try one trendy video topic, then pivot to something else, and they're hoping for a lucky break.
Yeah, throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you accept that it's a system, you move from hoping to studying, from guessing to measuring and adjusting. The algorithm isn't some, mysterious gatekeeper trying to hold you down.
It's a service provider.
It is a service provider.
So a service provider that wants what then? What is its core mission?
It's so simple. Its core mandate is to keep human eyeballs on the platform for as long as possible.
That's it.
Full stop. YouTube's business model is all about maximizing the total session time viewers spend watching ads. So naturally, the algorithm promotes videos that keep people watching.
Not just watching your video, though.
No, and that's the key. It's about keeping them watching the next video and the one after that. This is the central, non-negotiable principle. If your content serves that ultimate goal, maximizing time on site, the algorithm literally becomes your partner. It will efficiently push your content out for you.
So the massive insight here is that growth isn't about the sheer number of views you get. That's a vanity metric.
Totally.
It's about the quality and the duration of those views, which means growth is, well, it's entirely predictable if we just follow the rules of the system.
It's a scientific process that you execute through creative output. That's a great way to think about it.
Okay.
And the rules of this system are measured by what the source calls the 4 pillars of the algorithm. These are the 4 essential, non-negotiable metrics that prove your value to YouTube. If you're serious about growth, you have to understand, track, and optimize these 4 things.
Let's detail them. Let's start with the first one, the gateway metric, the one that judges your packaging. That's click-through rate or CTR.
Right. CTR measures how effective your title and your thumbnail are at just generating interest in the feed. The source material is very clear that this is the absolute first hurdle.
Because if they don't click...
Nothing else matters. I mean, think about it. If YouTube shows your video impression to 1,000 people on their homepage, and your CTR is only, say, 2%,
Yeah.
that means 980 people scrolled right past you. It's a huge signal to the algorithm. It says, regardless of how brilliant your actual video is, your packaging is irrelevant or uncompelling to the audience I showed it to.
So the title and thumbnail are basically your marketing department. And the better the CTR, the wider YouTube is willing to risk distributing it, right?
Exactly. It's like YouTube is saying, okay, I'll show your video to this small test group. If 10 of 100 people click, that's a 10% CTR.
Which is really good.
It's great. I have high confidence in your marketing, so I'll show it to 1,000 more. But if your CTR is like 3%, the risk is too high. The promotion just stops right there. A consistently high CTR is the engine that gets you sampled by wider and wider audiences.
Okay, but once they've clicked, once they've pulled off the information superhighway and started watching, we hit what you call the true currency of the algorithm, and that's watch time.
Yes. Watch time, or sometimes you'll see it called total view duration, is the ultimate measure of perceived value. But we need to be really specific here. This metric is about the total aggregated minutes your content generates across the entire viewing session, both within your specific video and the subsequent videos the viewer watches on YouTube afterward.
So it's a bigger picture metric.
Much bigger. The sources stress this. An 8-minute video that hooks viewers and leads them to watch 2 more of your videos is infinitely more valuable than a 30-minute video they click away from after just 3 minutes.
Right, which is why watch time always trumps sheer view count.
Always.
That distinction is so important. It's not just about the length of your video, it's about the quality of the minutes you deliver. But wait a second, doesn't chasing watch time potentially lead to clickbait?
How so?
Well, where you promise something huge in the title, but then you just stretch the content out, unnecessarily just to rack up minutes. How does the guide handle that tension?
That's a great question, and that's where the next metric comes in. It's a quality control mechanism. Watch time only matters if it's quality watch time, and that quality is measured by pillar number 3, audience retention. Retention is the ruthless quality indicator. It tells YouTube precisely where the viewer's interest died.
Okay, so walk us through what retention actually measures. It's more than just the average percentage.
Right, much more. So retention measures the percentage of your video that the average viewer actually consumes. And you see it on this graph, the retention curve. So imagine a 15-minute video. If your average retention is 40%, that means viewers are, on average, checking out at the 6-minute mark. You have to look at that graph. If there's a massive vertical drop-off at, say, the 45-second mark, that's where you ruined the viewer experience. Maybe it was an overly long channel intro, or a sponsor read that came way too soon, or just a poorly executed hook. High retention tells YouTube you're delivering high value consistently from the moment they click play.
So retention is what protects the algorithm from promoting content that lies to the viewer. Even if the total watch time gets a temporary boost, it makes sure the views are sustained and genuine.
Precisely. If your video has a high CTR and a high watch time, but the retention is terrible, the algorithm will quickly conclude you're maximizing the click, but you're compromising the viewer session, and your content will be deprioritized. It's a whole system designed to detect and reward sustained engagement.
And that brings us to the 4th pillar, the one that validates the content's social resonance.
That's engagement,
Likes, comments, shares.
Yep, engagement is the social proof element. And while it doesn't weigh as heavily as the duration metrics, watch time and retention are king, it still serves several really powerful functions.
Like what?
Well, a comment is a really strong signal of investment. Someone took the time to actually interact. That means the content resonated enough to stop their scrolling and make them type something.
And shares must be even better.
Shares are algorithmic gold because they exponentially extend your reach beyond the YouTube platform itself. They bring new, highly qualified traffic back to the site, which again serves the algorithm's core mission of maximizing session time.
This hierarchy is fascinating. So CTR gets you in the door, watch time is the currency, retention is quality control, and engagement is the social multiplier.
It's a perfect summary.
It all sounds intensely analytical, which forces us to move past guessing. And that brings us to Chapter 7 of the sources, which focuses on the necessity of the analytics feedback loop.
Absolutely. The moment a creator embraces the data, they stop guessing about what works and they start knowing. Success is achieved by actively studying specific data points after every single upload. You have to treat each video as a scientific experiment, not, a final piece of art.
Okay, so let's get tactical. For the creator who's staring at their dashboard right now, feeling overwhelmed, what's the marching order? The sources detail 3 critical data points they have to surgically investigate. First is identifying precisely where people drop off in their videos.
This is your content surgery, and it is the fastest path to boosting your retention score. Open that retention curve and just be brutal with your analysis.
What am I looking for?
Was it that 5-second graphic you thought looked cool but was actually distracting? Did the audio quality suddenly dip at the 1:15 mark?
Mm-hmm.
If you can identify and fix just 3 distinct points where viewers habitually leave, your average retention will jump instantly.
And that's an immediate, powerful signal to the algorithm.
A huge signal that your content quality has improved. You have to treat every single drop-off as a flaw in the product that needs to be patched.
That makes the process scalable. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, you just need to tighten the nuts and bolts. Okay, the second critical data point is more about future strategy, determining which videos perform best for replication.
Creators often suffer from what I call bright, shiny object syndrome. They're always chasing the next new idea. The guide strongly recommends a data-first approach. Go find your top 10% of videos.
The winners.
Their algorithmic hits, yeah.
Yeah.
Study their titles, their structure, their length, and most importantly, their topic angle. Why did these specific videos achieve 60% retention while your others got 35%?
So you're not just cloning the content.
No, replication isn't about cloning. It's about finding the core value element that resonated. Maybe it was the rapid pacing. Maybe it was the extreme specificity of the topic. And you adapt that proven element to a new subject.
Okay, so if my highest retention video was a very tight, fast-paced list of, say, the top 5 mistakes when buying a used car, I shouldn't stop making used car content. I should apply that tight, fast-paced list structure to top 5 mistakes when selling a house.
Exactly. You replicate the successful delivery mechanism. You're de-risking your content pipeline because you are leaning on proven data. This whole process of intentional replication is the cornerstone of sustainable growth.
And the third essential study point is understanding what topics attract new viewers for your niche refinement. This is about clarifying who you actually are to a broader audience.
Right, because new viewers are the oxygen for growth. Your analytics will show you the traffic sources that brought people in. You want to focus on external searches, suggested videos, and browse features.
And I'm looking for a pattern.
You're looking for a pattern. If you see a consistent pattern of new viewers coming in via a certain keyword, like advanced homebrewing techniques, even though you upload videos on general cooking and wine tasting, that is the universe, or rather the algorithm, telling you where your real niche is.
It's the audience voting with their clicks. So you might think you're a general food and beverage enthusiast, but the data is proving you're actually the definitive expert on homebrewing for a very motivated segment of the audience.
And you have to lean into that data. By focusing your efforts on the topics that reliably attract new, high-quality viewers, you signal extreme clarity to the algorithm. This enables more efficient targeting, which in turn dramatically boosts your CTR and watch time because your content is being shown to the people who are statistically most likely to consume it fully.
The ultimate growth conclusion here then ties it all together. Massive growth comes from applying small data-guided improvements over time rather than perpetually searching for that one single magical home run viral video.
The system rewards diligence and incremental optimization. It doesn't reward blind desperation. Every video you upload isn't just a piece of content, it's a valuable data point. The exponential growth you see in major channels. It's the compounding effect of hundreds of tiny data-driven optimizations applied consistently over months and years. You are literally tuning the machine with every single upload.
That sets the stage beautifully for part 2 then. We're moving from the science of the algorithm to the strategy of the content itself. So if we accept that growth is a system fueled by data, where do we lay the initial foundation? It begins, according to the guide, with Chapter 2's foundational lesson, choosing the right niche.
And this is where most new creators fail. It's simple. Really, they're just afraid of commitment. They mistakenly believe they need to appeal to the widest possible audience to gain views. The central lesson is so counterintuitive. Trying to attract everyone is a trap.
Explain that. Why is a broad channel, the everything channel, an algorithmic death sentence? I mean, shouldn't variety attract more people in theory?
In theory, maybe. But in practice, absolutely not. First, the algorithm struggles to classify you.
It doesn't know who to show your videos to.
Exactly. When a viewer finishes a video about personal finance, the algorithm tries to recommend another video that person will like. If your channel also has cat videos and, I don't know, extreme sports, the system's confidence level just drops to zero. It defaults to showing content from a clearer, more focused channel.
What about the viewer?
More importantly, the viewer struggles to subscribe to you. A viewer who loves your finance video has absolutely no incentive to subscribe if they know the next upload might be about basket weaving. Clarity builds loyal subscribers so much faster than variety because you're giving viewers a single, powerful, and reliable reason to hit that subscribe button.
So focus is the key to loyalty. The sources provide 3 essential criteria for selecting a clear niche to help creators avoid that general interest pitfall. Number 1, pick a topic the creator enjoys, ensuring longevity.
This is a purely psychological criterion, but it underpins the entire strategy. It's so important. If you start a channel just because a topic is trendy or, lucrative, say, crypto trading, but you hate talking about it,
You're going to burn out.
burnout is guaranteed, especially when the views inevitably lag at the beginning. The sheer volume of content and the long periods required for growth, they demand intrinsic motivation. Enjoyment acts as the sustainable fuel during that really painful period of low early views. You have to enjoy the process of making the content more than you enjoy the idea of being a successful creator.
That makes the process resilient. Okay, the second criterion is critical for viewer value and for searchability. Solve a specific problem.
Yeah, content that solves a tangible problem is inherently searchable and inherently valuable. This is the difference between uploading a video called My Thoughts on New Kitchen Gadgets and one called How to Sharpen Knives Using Only Household Items.
Right, one is a diary entry, the other is a utility.
Exactly. The latter has immediate utility, relevance, and a high probability of being searched for. Problem-solving content includes tutorials, definitive reviews, step-by-step guides, or analysis that clarifies a complex issue. Value on YouTube is measured almost entirely in utility and relevance.
And the third criterion helps the algorithm target you with surgical precision. Target a defined audience.
This is the difference between a niche and a micro-niche. So instead of just personal finance, you target personal finance for millennials working in the nonprofit sector.
Okay.
Instead of just home renovation, you target DIY plumbing and electrical fixes for new homeowners. A defined audience has specific shared pain points, they use specific language and keywords, and they congregate in specific online places. When you target them precisely, the algorithm knows exactly who to serve your content to, which, as we discussed, immediately maximizes your CTR potential and your watch time from the very beginning.
So once that micro niche is locked in, we move to Chapter 3, which discusses defining audience desire. This requires a really profound mindset shift for the creator. Successful creators, the sources argue, they stop asking, what should I upload?
They shift to the strategic question, what does my audience want to watch right now? This moves the whole process from self-expression into market research. The goal is to make sure that the content you're creating is already validated by demonstrable audience demand, rather than just being a hopeful guess.
So how do we answer that question proactively? The first strategy detailed is studying trending videos within the creator's specific niche.
This is crucial intelligence gathering. If you see that 4 of the top 6 videos in your specific niche over the last 60 days all cover the same new piece of software or the same regulatory change in your industry, that's undeniable proof of market demand.
You don't copy the video.
You don't copy it, but you create your own unique, focused perspective on that validated topic. It allows you to enter a conversation the audience is already having. You should never bet a full production cycle on a topic the audience hasn't already shown overwhelming interest in.
That's how you de-risk the massive time investment that goes into making content. The second strategy is simpler, cheaper, and I think often overlooked. Deeply analyzing audience comments and questions.
Oh, the comments section of successful videos, both your own and your competitors, is a goldmine of pre-validated content ideas. Viewers will literally articulate their pain points, their confusions, and the precise videos they wish existed. A single recurring question in the comments section, something like, but how do you handle the waste disposal for that project? That can be the title and the entire outline of your next 20-minute video. It ensures your content is always hyper-relevant and addressing a genuine, demonstrated need.
And to systematize this desire, the sources identify 3 core universal content themes that reliably drive human attention. Content should focus on addressing problems, sparking curiosity, and offering transformation.
Let's look at those levers, because they're the 3 ways to compel a click and then sustain attention. Problems are the utilitarian appeal, the how-to content we just talked about. If a viewer has a broken object or a knowledge gap, they search for a solution. Utility is immediate value.
Okay, then curiosity.
Curiosity is the psychological driver that creates what's called an information gap that the viewer feels they must fill.
Right. The classic example of curiosity is the title that presents a startling fact but withholds the explanation.
Precisely. It's the untold truth about X that you must know before you try Y. Curiosity is so powerful because it drives the click, and it compels the viewer to stay until the puzzle is solved. I mean, if you click on a video titled "The Bizarre Reason Why All Modern Buildings Leak," you're psychologically obligated to stay until you find out the bizarre reason.
And the third one, transformation, is about the long-term aspirational payoff.
Transformation focuses on content that promises a change in the viewer's status, their ability, or their knowledge level. I tried this investment strategy for 90 days, and here's my portfolio now, or the 4 habits that 10x'd my productivity. These videos promise a tangible personal improvement. These 3 themes, problems, curiosity, transformation, they align perfectly with the value proposition that the algorithm rewards.
Now we pivot to chapter 4, which is all about the packaging. Mastering the first impression. We've got the great problem-solving content idea, but as the guide warns, even world-class content fails without strong presentation because it won't pass that initial CTR hurdle we talked about.
And this is where we directly apply our knowledge of that CTR metric. If you bomb the packaging, the content never even gets tested. Let's start with the titles. They must create curiosity, not confusion.
Confusion is the enemy of the click. It requires cognitive effort. A confusing title makes the viewer pause, try to decipher the meaning, and then they usually just scroll past.
A great title operates with 2 goals: clarity and stakes. It tells the viewer exactly what the topic is, so it appeals to the right audience, but it simultaneously creates a tension or a knowledge gap that they feel compelled to resolve.
So an example.
Sure, review of the new laptop Model Z is clear, but the stakes are really low. I used the new laptop Model Z for a month. Here's the fatal flaw I found. Immediately uses curiosity and implied stakes to drive that click. You give them the topic, but you hold the vital, high-value information, the fatal flaw, hostage until they watch.
Then we have the visual gatekeeper, thumbnails. The strategic guide insists they must be simple, emotional, and clear.
This is so vital, especially on mobile feeds where the thumbnail is tiny. Simplicity means adhering to minimal text, 3 to 5 words, max clear composition, and strong color contrast. Emotion is key because humans are just wired to respond to faces. Thumbnails with faces showing surprise or focus or even frustration. They are powerful attention magnets.
And
clarity just ensures the viewer grasps the subject matter at a glance, and that the visual coordinates seamlessly with the title. A cluttered, complex thumbnail is the fastest way to kill your CTR.
Okay, so you've secured the click. The title and thumbnail did their job, but you're not out of the woods. The hardest part is next, the first 10 seconds. The guide calls this the ultimate retention gatekeeper.
It is the moment of truth. It dictates your entire audience retention score. Viewers, especially from suggested feeds, are highly critical and they're often viewing on impulse. You have to immediately deliver on the promise of the title and the thumbnail.
So no messing around.
The guide is emphatic. Absolutely no long branded intros, no rambling personal anecdotes, and no delay whatsoever in reaching the value proposition.
So if my title promised to expose the single biggest mistake people make in building, say, a specific model kit, the first 10 seconds must immediately state, in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to save you $50 and 3 hours of frustration by showing you the one major mistake almost every builder makes with the XYZ kit. Here it is.
Precisely. You hook them with urgency, you restate the value proposition, and you immediately promise the resolution. You show them why they clicked and why they should stay. This aggressive front-loading of value is mandatory for strong retention. And this brings us to a crucial balance point that's mentioned in the sources. The strategy guide stresses that retention is more important than perfection in production quality.
That's incredibly liberating for someone who's just starting out, who might feel intimidated by, professional studio setups.
It's a strategic resource allocation priority.
Right.
YouTube is not grading you on whether you shot on a cinema camera or a smartphone. It's grading you on watch time and retention. If your lighting is imperfect, but your editing is tight, your pacing is fast, and your content delivers on its promise, The algorithm will promote you over a gorgeously shot video where the host hems and haws for 45 seconds before getting to the point.
So focus your resources, your time, your effort, your money on editing, pacing, and the quality of the information and the delivery, not just the quality of the camera sensor. We've built the foundation, a clear, valuable niche, and we've mastered the presentation to secure the click and retention. Now we turn to the sustainable growth engine in part 3, the long game. Chapter 5 offers a powerful, almost countercultural psychological lesson, which is consistency over motivation.
This is often the point where channels plateau or just die. Talent can get you one viral video, but consistency, as the guide shows, beats talent in the long run. And that's because consistency addresses these fundamental, systemic needs of both the platform and the audience.
We hear so much about needing motivation to create, but this guide is focused on something more disciplined. It's about establishing a schedule, regardless of how you feel that day. It sounds more like showing up for a job than, waiting for inspiration to strike.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
And regular uploading serves two absolutely crucial masters, both essential for that compounding growth we've been talking about. The first is what we call algorithm training. Consistency literally trains the algorithm by providing reliable, predictable data feeds.
Okay, walk us through what training the algorithm actually means in technical terms. How does a fixed schedule benefit the backend system?
It means the algorithm can build a precise, high-confidence model around your content and your audience. The system learns when your viewers are most likely to be online, who is likely to watch your specific type of video, and how often it should feature you in suggested and browse feeds.
And if you're random?
If you upload randomly, say, 4 videos this week, then nothing for a month. The algorithm can't build a reliable model around your channel's cadence. It stops being able to predict success for you. But consistent, reliable delivery allows the algorithm to learn your rhythm and the viewing patterns of your target audience, making its subsequent predictions, and therefore your promotion, more and more accurate and effective.
That's a powerful incentive. The second master served is the audience itself, viewer trust. Predictable creators earn viewer trust, which fosters deep loyalty.
Viewers are creatures of habit. They weave their favorite channels into their weekly routine, much like subscribing to a magazine or a TV show. If a viewer knows your deep analysis video drops every Sunday morning, they psychologically start to look forward to it. They'll deliberately tune in.
But if you're sporadic,
you become disposable. They'll forget you exist and they will find another creator who is reliable. Trust is the absolute foundation of loyalty, and loyalty translates directly into higher watch time per subscriber and more shares, which, again, signals superior value to the algorithm.
This brings us back to the painful reality of compound growth. The sources really emphasize that success comes from showing up consistently, even when views are initially low and, frankly, discouraging.
This is the psychological barrier that kills 90% of new channels. Growth is slow, it's linear, and it's frustrating for the first year, maybe 2. But here's the payoff. Every single video you upload is an active asset that continues to generate data and, crucially, views over time. Once the algorithm fully understands your niche and you've built a substantial library, say 100 videos of high retention content, the growth curve shifts dramatically. The views you get today are boosted by the cumulative, sustained performance of the high-quality assets you uploaded 6 months ago. Consistency is the mandatory process of building that powerful back catalog that will eventually lift the entire channel into exponential growth.
Okay, so moving from mechanics to relationships, Chapter 6 shifts focus entirely. It asserts that YouTube is not just a video platform, it's a relationship platform. The ultimate goal isn't subscribers, it's to build a community.
This is the realization that separates the massive channels from the ones that stagnate. A subscriber count is a vanity metric. A community is an active distribution metric. You don't want people who just passively click subscribe. You want people who actively advocate for your content and feel connected to you, the creator, and to each other.
So what are the key actionable tactics the guide suggests for cultivating that genuine audience connection?
First, and it's the easiest to implement, is talking directly to viewers using personal address. Never use generic phrases like, "for all my viewers out there."
Right.
Instead, use "you" and "we." Make the viewer feel seen, valued, and directly addressed. This instantly transforms the viewing experience from passive consumption into an active, personal conversation. It builds intimacy and trust.
Second, actively asking questions and soliciting input is crucial.
Yeah, and this serves 2 purposes. It boosts engagement, and it fuels your content pipeline. You should constantly be asking questions like, what are your biggest challenges with implementing this technique? Or, should I dive deeper into X or Y next week? When you ask for input, you validate their participation,
Yeah.
and functionally, you make the audience a co-creator of your content.
So they feel invested.
They feel invested, so they're exponentially more likely to watch that content when it finally drops.
And third, the simplest but probably the most time-consuming commitment, replying to comments and validating participation.
Especially in the early days. Every single comment is a relationship opportunity. Responding is a direct validation of the viewer's effort and their investment in you. It shows that there is a human behind the camera who cares about the individual. When viewers feel seen and appreciated, they instantly transition from being passive audience members into active evangelists for your channel.
And that engagement leads directly to the ultimate long-term reward we mentioned earlier, right? Loyal viewers naturally share videos, exponentially extending your reach.
This is the organic multiplier effect. This is what breaks channels out of that early struggle. If you rely solely on the algorithm, your growth is linear. It's limited by its current reach. But if you successfully build a community, your most loyal, engaged viewers become your unpaid distribution network. They share your content on niche forums and private social media groups, or they'll directly recommend it to friends who share their interests. They do the heavy lifting of bringing new, highly qualified, pre-vetted viewers into your ecosystem,
Which the algorithm sees.
which the algorithm interprets as an extremely strong signal of off-platform value.
Finally, we arrive at Chapter 8, where we look at the final stage, monetization and sustainability. How do we turn this consistently executed high-value channel into a lasting brand with a long-term vision?
The guide is very clear about this. Monetization is the result of focusing on value, not the starting goal. You build the audience and the trust first, and the money inevitably follows. Once that foundation is established, the sources highlight 4 primary avenues for potential monetization.
Okay, the first two are the most common benchmarks: ad revenue and sponsorships.
Ad revenue is the baseline. That's the revenue share you get from YouTube placing ads on your videos. Sponsorships, however, require that high degree of trust we just discussed. A channel with a loyal, targeted audience can command very high fees for sponsorships. But the creator has to guard that trust fiercely. You can only promote products or services that genuinely align with the channel's value proposition. A bad sponsorship can tank your trust and your retention overnight.
The third avenue is about leveraging your expertise directly, selling products and services.
This is often the most lucrative path, especially for those niche problem-solving channels. This moves beyond low-margin merchandise and into high-margin digital products, things like courses, exclusive ebooks, premium templates, or access to a private community. If your channel solves a problem, you can sell the ultimate solution or the definitive tool. This directly leverages the transformation the audience is looking for and often generates significantly higher revenue than ad clicks alone.
And the final one, which is arguably the most powerful long-term asset, transcends the platform itself, leveraging personal branding.
A successful, consistent channel transforms the creator into an authority figure in their niche. That personal brand is an asset that can be leveraged far beyond YouTube for speaking engagements, book deals, consulting, or launching completely new ventures based on that established trust and demonstrated expertise. The channel at this point stops being just a video host and becomes a highly effective, automated marketing funnel for the creator's own intellectual property and career.
So the foundational financial takeaway, which really ties this whole strategy together, is that key strategic pivot. The key is to focus on value first. Money follows the audience and the trust that you have painstakingly built.
Absolutely. If you attempt to monetize too aggressively or too early, you risk compromising the consistency, the retention, and the trust that you need for exponential growth. Monetization should feel like a natural, logical progression of the value exchange. The audience is happy to support the consistent value they're receiving. You build the robust, high-value library first, and the various revenue streams will naturally flow from that foundation.
That was a tremendous deep dive into the systematic strategy of YouTube growth. Let's just synthesize these key takeaways just to make sure you leave with a clear roadmap. We've established that growth is a predictable system. It's not luck. It requires patience and a meticulous strategy.
Right. And the path forward is defined by focus. You have to start with one clear niche and provide hyper-focused, problem-solving value to one defined audience. Your success is just relentlessly measured by watch time and retention primacy, which means you have to become a surgeon of your own content, optimizing every minute to eliminate those drop-offs.
And you have to prioritize consistency over motivation. You're training the algorithm and you're building viewer trust by showing up on schedule, regardless of what the view count says. This consistency is what initiates that unstoppable compound growth.
And critically, you must view the platform as a relationship tool. Building a community, interacting with your commenters, and encouraging genuine advocacy is what creates long-term success and that exponential reach through the organic multiplier effect.
So, our final message for you, the learner, is really the optimistic core of this whole strategic blueprint. Anyone can succeed on YouTube if they are patient, strategic, and laser focused on providing maximum value to their audience. The early stage might be slow, it will probably require a lot of faith in the data, but with strategic consistency and continuous data guided learning, that eventual growth becomes statistically unavoidable.
The beauty of the system is that the analytics will tell you exactly what you need to fix. The platform is designed to reward you powerfully for making those fixes. The path isn't easy, but it is clear.
So let's leave you with one final provocative thought to consider as you digest this. Given the foundational emphasis on consistency, on audience value, and on compound growth, how can a creator strategically align their monetization goals, which often require early promotion or integration, with their content goals from day one, without compromising the audience trust and retention that is explicitly required for long-term success? It's that constant balance between sustaining the immediate effort and building the eventual empire. Something to mull over as you begin mapping out your next most strategic upload.